I want to bring a scenario then.
Yeah.
Project management is a hard career.
Yeah.
It's a complete balance of tools and techniques,
Yeah.
and then people skills.
Yeah.
Right now, imagine you're in an environment, in a team, you're open to learn,
Yeah.
but then you're a project manager.
Yeah.
And you're accountable for what you
Yeah.
deliver. And some cultures and some people do not follow that.
Yeah.
They have learned that, you can talk confidently
Yeah.
about anything,
Yeah.
even though you're not an expert.
Yeah.
Then how do you challenge that environment? And how do you basically go there and say, by the way, I'm accountable,
Yeah.
and I think I know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Have you seen that before in your career, and how do you deal with that?
I'm quite assertive with when I'm accountable. I have a simple equation in my life. Accountability equals authority.
Uh-huh.
Right? So if you're accountable for something, so if I'm accountable for something, you give me the authority to fulfill those responsibilities. Right? Don't hold me accountable for something I don't have the authority to address. Conversely, don't give someone authority without accountability, because they'll just go rogue. Right? And that's, I think, one of the greatest dysfunctions we have are people not being held to account. They have this authority, or assumed or inferred, whatever it might be, and they act according to that, but they don't face consequences of any bad decisions. So to your point, if somebody says something that's probably outlandish or whatever it might be, I would point out, actually, it's my head on the block here.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be quite assertive on that. I mean, again, it's not a confrontation conversation, it's just a clarity saying, that's fine, but really, what do you effectively do with that information? If you give me an opinion, fine. So I'm not expected to act on that if it doesn't fit with my brief of accountability. I think it's about culture. There are certainly some cultures where, people are overly confident, overly exuberant, and there's others where it's almost an unwillingness to be disagreeable or an unwillingness to show your true feelings about something. And those are equally harmful to everybody in many ways. I think the former is probably easier to deal with because you can have that fairly reciprocal, blunt conversation. Deal with it very hard because it comes from a much deeper place, often a culturally deeper place. And I know there are cultures where hierarchy is very strict. And it can come down to various factors in their certain societies. And people are very reluctant or don't even know how to step out from that.
That's
right.
right.
I had a case where I had two people on TV who were from the same country, but from different levels in society, should put it that way. And the one who was in the more senior role was from the deemed lower level in society, and the one that was in the higher level absolutely stepped away from the role. So I cannot work for that person.
Wow.
Because if I go back to my family and say, this person of this name is my manager, that's all, how come? Because I can't tell my family that person because they don't know by the name of the person where they're from. And so I thought that unfortunately is something you do need to get over if you want to truly adapt. Like there's a phrase like when in Rome does the Romans do, which is true to an extent. But it does not mean surrounding what makes you the person you are. It just means there are some societal norms. And sometimes you have to go with those for your own betterment. Because a society like Australia, which is very egalitarian, won't necessarily tolerate. It doesn't mean that within your own environment you don't adhere to all the things you value, but there are certain norms that we need to function and to get on.
Beautiful. That's great.